An armistice is the temporary cessation of fighting in a war. It's a truce. And a truce was called back on the 11th day, the 11th hour of that day, of the 11th month. It was some months later that the Treaty of Versailles was signed as a way of saying it's over. The Great War, with all of its hostilities, all of its tragedies, all of its heroism, all of its commitment, the Great War was over. In November 1919, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed November 11th as the first commemoration of Armistice Day with the following words: "To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for the victory, both because of things from which it has freed us and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the councils of the nations." A sign of things from which we've been freed, and because of this opportunity to show sympathy with peace and justice in the Council of Nations. As the Great War became the one in a sequence of upcoming wars, the Second World War, the Korean War. Later, there was a shift from Armistice, Truce Day, to Veterans Day, to celebrate and honor veterans, those who've served our country through our forces. To sustain us in freedom, and tied with that, working us toward peace and justice with councils. Welcome to Finding God in the Times of COVID. It's November 11th, and I'm here beneath a newly installed flag. A shout out to DMS for their quiet support of things central to the life and the well-being of people here in our community in Barre, Vermont. So I invite you, us, today to hold a moment in which call to mind veterans, those who have served. Some who, when they left this country for their service, made it back alive. And others who, when their families or friends said goodbye to them, bidding them farewell, some who didn't make it back alive. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands who didn't make it back alive. And we could hold in our hearts too those who normally would be gathering here under this flag, students who will be playing in marching bands today, veterans who would gather as a way of carrying on this tradition of honoring those who've put their life in harm's way to labor for freedom. And then all those who labor for the deep and wide goals of peace and justice in our land and in our worlds. And perhaps at 11 today, we take a moment, like we do now, a somber moment, and one of gratitude for freedom, for peace, and for justice. Blessings on our veterans and blessings on your day.